Hi, I'm Eitimad Hahshim. In this video, we are going to learn about population ecology. Population ecology is the study of populations in relation to the environment. A population is a set of individuals of the same species, like zebra species here, live in a particular geographic area. How are populations measured? Population measured by measuring population density, population size. Population density means number of individuals per unit area or volume. If it is land area, if it is water volume. Like large organisms such as trees can be expressed as 100 trees per hectare, and smaller ones like phytoplanktons, million algae cells per cubic meter of water. While the population size means the number of individuals that we estimate by any ecological methods such as market capture method. Regarding the characteristic or the factors that affect the population size and density, such as birth by adding more to the population ecology, or this subtraction from the population size and density. Also immigration, and that by adding because moving into and then immigration, and that moving out of the community or population, then subtraction. This is by minus, and this one by plus. And there are several population characteristics. For example, dispersion and spatial distribution. Dispersion is the spacing among individuals within population boundaries, and there are three basic population dispersion or distribution are observed in nature: regular dispersion, random dispersion, and clump dispersion. Regarding clump dispersion, all individuals have unequal chance of being anywhere because individuals aggregated in batches due to the social aggregation. Else you find it when the organism have social aggregation, then you will find clumped dispersion. And also there is regular dispersion or uniform dispersion, uniformly spaced. The living organisms arrange themselves in a uniform distance. They are far away at equal distances from each other. This is called regular or uniform dispersion. Also, there is a random dispersion. Every organism has equal chance of being anywhere, individual and related to the position of its neighbors. They just can't be found in a random manner. Distribution largely based on climate, and here we have a case study of kangaroo in order to see how the scientists study the distribution of these animals. And the flow, according to the flow curve of the factor limiting geographical distribution of it, there are some questions that can answer why it is found in some areas and why there are absent from the other areas. For example, if this kangaroo here present in Australia, then does dispersion is limited factors. If the area is accessible, definitely the animal will be there. If the area is not accessible, then there will be no. Here, or the key is the density of the kangaroo in Australia. So the area with lighter or white color is the area inaccessible for kangaroo, and the area with the dark brown is the one that accessible for it. So why? Because due to habitat selection, due to the animal behavior, select that habitat because it's suiting him. Why it's suiting? It suits him according to the environment, biotic and abiotic factors, because are limiting factor for the existence of the organism in that area. So the biotic and abiotic factors, like absence of predators, or they can interact with other living organism, biotic organisms that present in that particular area. And abiotic factor availability of water, oxygen, salinity, and the soil nutrients. All of it is just suit that kinds of animal. So climate influence species distribution. Scientists come out with that. Climate influence species distribution because it affects on the food production, water supply, habitat, incidence of parasite and pathogens and competitors. And also if you can see here, according to the environmental gradient, some of the habitat will be poor habitat for the distribution of a specific species. Other area will be with a good habitat for the presence or existence of the species, and also there is extremes, and also there is ideal area or optimal area for all of it. Depend on the climate, because climate associated with essential factors that living organisms need to live in an area. So we are speaking at the beginning for the dispersion as population characteristic, also age structure. Age structure is the relative number of individuals at each age, and it is one tool to predict future population demographic, population growth trends, how this population is growing. It shows relative number of individuals, male and females of each age in a population. Also can eliminate social condition, help us plan for future, يعني make a prediction for the future, especially for human populations. So from an ecological point of view, there are three major ecological ages in the population. Pre-reproductive, the youngest or the smallest group, and reproductive as the age of that can be able to give birth and to increase in size and density, and post-reproductive, this is related to how long old age is one and how long the group can live, the range of the lifespan. The relative duration of these age groups in proportion to the lifespan varies greatly with different organisms. Any organism got a specific time regarding pre-reproductive, reproductive, post-reproductive according to the lifespan, because some animals can live for just few hours and others for long times, maybe several years, up to 100 or more than 100. So it is different according to different organisms. And from age structure, scientists calculate the growth rate. Growth rate, how many individuals born versus how many die. So birth rate minus death rate equals the rate of natural increase. If migration and emigration are ignored, a population growth rate per capita will be increased, equal birth rate minus death rate. Then there are zero population growth. Zero population growth occur where the birth rate equal to the death rate, because the ones that add equals the ones that subtract. Also, we have other terminology called metapopulations. These are groups of population linked by immigration and emigration. Also, scientists from this age structure, they come out by age structure pyramids. Age pyramids represent proportion of different age groups in population of any organism, and there are three kinds of the age pyramids: triangle structure, bell-shaped structure, and urn-shaped structure. Triangle structure, this is pyramid associated with broad base, indicate high percentage of young individual at birth rate is high, and gross population may be exponential, such as in Afghanistan. They got a lot of children, young individuals. So bell-shaped chain, it indicates stationary population, equal number of young middle-aged individuals. When you got urn-shaped structure, it indicates a low percentage of young individuals and show a declining population. Let us see that with graphs. Here, this is a structure pyramid for human population of 3 countries, dates to 2005. When there is a rapid growth, here we will got triangle shape, and then the younger are more. This is means rapid growth, like in Afghanistan, as we said before. Where there is an slow growth, like in United States, you will find that the middle age are too much and growing nicely. When you go where there is no growth, no too much youngs, like in Italy, so uh, the the shape of the age structure pyramid will be iron shaped structure. Iron shaped structure. Also regarding the population, the factors that affecting on the population characteristic like birth rate, also called natality. And birth rate, population increase because of the birth rate. The birth rate may be expressed as number of organisms born per female per unit time. Also, it's different according to different organisms. Some organisms can give birth in few hours, and others can give birth in several months, and sometimes in several years. In human population, there are two types of natality. There are maximum natality and there are ecological or realized natality. The maximum natality is a theoretical maximum production of new individual under ideal condition that limited only by physiological factors, just like absolute birth rate, how much the living individual can have from the birth individual. And realized natality or ecological natality is a population increase under an actual existing environmental conditions, because sometimes the environmental condition also can be controlled by the environmental conditions. But this maximum natality is controlled by the physiological conditions. But here, realized natality is controlled by the environmental condition. Also, population is affected by mortality. Is affected negatively by mortality. Mortality means rate of individual die in the population. So, also there are two types of mortality: minimum mortality or ecological or unrealized mortality. Minimum mortality represents theoretical minimum loss of individual under ideal or non-limiting condition, and ecological or realized natality, an actual loss of individual under a given environmental condition. It's the same, like natality, the mortality. There are two types, one of them governed or controlled by the physiological factor, and the realized one or the ecological one is controlled by the environmental condition. So when we are speaking about population ecology, people speaking need these data for population demography and for the modeling of the life tables. So demography is the study of the statistic of a population and how they change over a time, but by using either life tables or reproductive tables or survival sheet curves. They got statistically they can make life tables or reproductive table or survival sheet curves. So a death rate and birth rate of particular interest to the demography, because death means subtraction or minus the population, minus the population size or minus the population density, and birth rate is adding to the population size and population density. Let's have an example. Here is the life tables for squirrel, then ground squirrel. As you can say, it can give an estimation of the age groups for males and for females. Then can predict how this animal, for how long they can live, for how long they can reproduce, and how many the population ecology of them in the nature. And there are two types of population of life tables in nature. One of them called cohort life table is a dynamic life table. Cohort means all individuals within an area born germinated in a population in the same interval will be taken into account. And the other types of the life table is static life table. Static life table, static means time-specific life table. For example, for long-lived or highly mobile animals that are present. يعني it is calculated for highly mobile animals or long-lived animals. Long-lived animals or organisms, we did for them static life table. But cohort life table, all individuals with an area born germinated, whatever, you can do for them cohort life table. Also, we got one of the other representation can be by the curves. We call it survivorship curves. The survivorship curves for a population are more significant for a population than the dead one. Yani they are more significant for the survival one than for dead one. The survival rates are generally expressed by survivorship curves according to the name. So this curve is a way of representing data in a life table. And we have as a following example for it. Here, for example, here is a survival. This is a table, life table. From that life table, people can draw the survivorship curves for males and females of the square. Okay, for all of them, they can draw a curve from the life tables. They can represent it because it will be easier to predict or easier to read. The idealized survivorship curves got 3 types because according to the population ecology. Type 1, here it calculated, it almost look like that. It calculated for the living organism with low death rate during early and middle age, then increase among يعني the death increase among the elders or after the middle age. For example, the man got type 1 survivorship curve because we got low death rate during early and middle age, but by the age people die or pass away. Type 2, here the death rate is stable, is constant over the organism lifespan. Just it's constant because most of the time it's faced by predator and prey or parasites or whatever. And also type 3 death rates will be high death rate for younger, then slower curve for the eldest group. So survivorship curves, we have 3 idealized survivorship curves, type 1, type 2, and type 3. Type 1, we said low death rate during early and middle age, but it increases with the old age groups. And types 2, the death rate is constant over the organism lifespan. And type 3, high death rate for young, then slower death rate for the survivor. The idealized model describes 2 kinds of population growth. The population growth can have a J-shaped curve, and we call it exponential growth, or it have S-shape, and we call it a logistic growth curve. Let us have a look at all of them. For exponential growth curve that occur when individual in a population replicate at a constant rate until it reaches infinity. Okay, for example, some bacteria have abiotic exponential curve growth per hour. Their population doubles each hour, so they reaches an infinity. So when the scientists draw for it a curve, it will be a J curve. It will be a J curve. We call it exponential curve. The logistic curve occurs when a population grows slow. Then it have an S shape. When the population grows slow or stop following period of exponential growth. A resource become less available as the population growth rate slow or stop. You see here the growth slow or stop. This curve always have an S shape, and we call it logistic growth. Logistic growth. Let us have human population growth curve. The human population is no longer growing exponential, but still increasing rapidly. They are not growing exponentially, but increasing rapidly. To maintain population steadily, a regional human population can exist in one of the two configurations. Zero population growth, when we have zero population growth, either we have high birth rate and also at the same time high death rate, because population growth equal birth rate minus death rate. But also we can have zero population growth if we have low birth rate and low death rate, because when we subtract two of them, it will give zero. So it will be zero population growth at high birth rate. It is accompanied by high death rate, and also if we have low birth rate and accompanied by low death rate. So there is a transitional movement from first state towards the second state. So the demographic transition is associated with increase in the quality of health care. If people want to control a death rate or to make the people survive in a good condition and to the lifespan to be long, then they will increase quality of health care, improve access to education, especially for women. And then most of the current global population growth is concentrated in developing countries, because in developed countries, like for example in Italy, more lifespan is too long than in the developing countries, because the developing countries associated with forming too much children, but most of them die due to the absence of quality of health care and access to education and to medicine and all sorts of things. So the both idealized models, exponential and logistic of population growth, they have to level it off as their carrying capacity. When they reach their carrying capacity, they were leveled off. So we call it carrying capacity. Carrying capacity is the number of organisms of any species that an environment can support. The environment can support, but it is resources. So resources is the limiting factors till it reach carrying capacity for the environment. And that determined by the limiting factors. So under ideal condition, population will grow exponentially, exponentially, until limiting factor cause growth to slow, such as slow. So slow and growth rate, fast growth rate, and then if it reach the carrying capacity, then it will slow. Let us look at the growth rate factors, limiting factors, such as food supply, toxic waste, increased disease, predation. There are several limiting factors that can end the life of living organisms. So regarding the environmental conditions, there are two types of reproductive strategies in order to control the limiting factors. One of the reproductive strategies is called R selection, and the other one is called K selection. R selection associated with a species that produce many types of offspring and live in unstable environment. They just like in developing countries produce too many children, but without health care, without any care. In order just by chance, when each one lived, it's okay. The one will pass. But care selection for those species that produce few, then this few will be expensive. Will be having too much care and live in a stable environment, even for the animals. And let us see examples for R selection and K selection. R selection and K selection are reproductive strategies. So for always are strategies associated with living organisms that have short lifespan, small body size, reproduce quickly, have many young, little parental care. There is no parental care. They just born, and then each one must go to search for to complete the life, like cockroach, insects, fly, bees, bacteria. All those organisms, if you look at them, you will find that they are small in size, reproduce quickly, they produce so many offspring. This is we call it strategies. But case strategies always associated with long lifespan animals, large body size, reproductive very slowly, have very few animals, youngs, and provide parental care, like humans and elephants. Yeah, few numbers, and also giraffe. If you look here at this logistic growth curve, it includes exponential phase or K strategies, because here the number of organisms يعني will be just constant, but if it is R, it will be infinity. Then it is K strategies or quality. If you look at the predation relationship, the effect of growth curve, the growth curve for Linux and for hair is called a bomb and bust curve. Because always they are operating from predation and they are affected by predation, so they follow our strategies. They produce too many and then being too less and then too many and then being in a cycle. So it is like when it is produced too high, then it will be boom. Then when it is gone down or just about to finish, we call it bust. Also, there is other definition in population ecology called trade-off. Trade-off in an exchange. When you give up one thing in order to get something else that you are also desire. There are many trade-offs involved in the reproduction effort decision. If an organism has finite resources, which may lead to trade-off between survival and reproduction. That is why the living organisms have trade-off. If you reproduce very few number of offspring, that means the offspring will have a good education, good health care, good parental care, and they will live for a long time as their life. As you can see here, even for these crystals, they always like to live in smaller broods, because the smaller broods, due to a caring of for offspring, if they will have high caring of offspring, they will have a good life. If they just produce like a normal, it will be like 50-50. But if they produce too many offspring, then the parental care will be less than most of the offspring will pass out. Also, the trade-off is taken by the plants. Let us have an example. Some plants produce a large number of small seeds. At least some of them will grow and eventually reproduce, such as in the Lindion plants. And also some other plants, they produce moderate number of large seeds to provide large store of energy that will help seedling become established. For example, coconut palm, they just produce, the number is moderate, it's not too high. But for a dandelion, they are produce so many or large number of small seed as reproductive strategies, and it is called trade-off. Thank you so much, and here is the some references if you would like to go through. And please like, share, and comment the video, and don't forget to press the notification button. Thank you.